Welcome to my workshop, 5 years of medical medium wisdom. So I'm going to share with you today my journey of how I got here and how I spent 5 years on medical medium protocols. And I'm going to share the wisdom that I have captured after living this lifestyle myself and sharing this work, guiding hundreds of clients through this work over those years, and giving you some direction about what's most important for you to focus on and to what energy to lean into in order to get the best results and the best healing. And because for me, ultimately, medical medium has been, the food protocols have been a gateway to so much more than just physical health, like so much more. Like the physical health has been great, it's been nice, but the other things it opened up for me have been far more transformative. So that's what makes me a little bit different from other medical medium practitioners, people applying medical medium information, is that I really take more of a holistic approach. And I'm not just talking about holistic in terms of food and the body, it's really about a holistic approach to your entire life and how food how food interacts with your relationships and your work and your money and your purpose, your life purpose, and all those things. So I'm going to go through all those things, and then I will leave some room at the end for questions as time allows. I'm going to shoot for an hour and 15 minutes. It's hard for me to stick to an hour because as soon as I start talking, a lot comes through for me to share with you guys. I have some notes I took, but there's always a lot that just channels through me in the moment as well. So let's take a moment to ground. I want to clear my energy as well, so I make sure I'm giving you guys good info. I always use some kind of clearing spray or essential oils just to make sure what I'm pulling in is through as clear of a lens as possible, right? Because we're all seeing the world through our own lens, and that's valuable. But we want to also see the world through the lens of our higher self, through God, source, creator, universe, whatever you want to title you want to put on there. We want to see it more through the lens of truth rather than just the lens of our own experience. So let's take 1 minute. Just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Another deep breath in as you begin to send a grounding cord down from the base of your spine, down into the earth, deeper, deeper, and deeper, until you reach the core of the earth, anchoring you into the grounded, peaceful, abundant, timeless energy of Mother Earth. Taking a moment to connect to your body. And set an intention for what you came here to receive. I'm asking that the most important messages that all of you need to receive, either live or replay, will come through. You will hear them loudly and clearly. And they will be of the highest service to you, to me, and to all those involved in bringing you to your highest possible potential, bringing all of us to our highest possible potential of physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual health. And so it is. Taking one more deep breath in through your nose, all the way down into your belly. Exhaling. And bringing your awareness back into the room. Opening your eyes when you're ready. And joining us in this experience. Okay, so I'm going to give you a little background about me. I'm ready now. I had a full disclosure, a little funky energy this morning before I started this. There was some level of resistance within me. And I'm not sure what that was. I'm not sure if my energy is being just pulled in different directions, or sometimes when we're about to do an important thing, a big thing, an energy shifting thing, there can be some unconscious or subconscious resistance within us. And oftentimes we have to just feel that, honor that, but to some extent, just continue to move forward and do it anyway. So that's a little hint about one thing I'm going to talk about today is discerning the difference between resistance and misalignment. So that's a really key piece of awareness and strategy in healing. And I'm going to jot that down so that I remember to talk about it. Okay. So I started my career as a registered dietitian. I graduated in 2006 and I went on the traditional Western medicine track. I was like a hardcore Capricorn, like work hard, make money, do your job, get promotions, keep learning as many things as possible. I went from one specialty to the next because I wanted to know all the things. I moved up into management very quickly when I was 28, I think, 27, something like that, 27, 28, because I felt like I had kind of mastered all the clinical stuff. And now I wanted to be involved in the higher management aspects of the hospital as well. It was also a career advancing step. And I got my master's. I finished that in 2012. And then I had kind of maxed out my capabilities of advancing within the clinical nutrition world, the hospital medical nutrition world. And I wanted more. And so I bent over backwards, literally, and got this job with a pharmaceutical company doing sales of nutrition products in hospitals. So these were the products that I used. They were tube feedings, things like Ensure, pediatric feedings. And so I went to work for that company that I used to use their products, and I would go talk to the dietitians that I used to be, and I would sell the products to them, and the doctors and the nurses and nurse managers and everything. So I got to see hospitals from many different perspectives. I got to see it as a clinician, as a manager, and also as an outside sales rep. And I did all the right things. I got my degrees. I was climbing the corporate ladder. I got this job that was very difficult to get, that had a great salary, incredible benefits. It had a pension, which like nobody has a pension anymore, right? I was living in New York City. I had a company car. I could make my own hours. I got flown around the country all the times for trainings. And I was completely miserable. I was completely miserable. I just turned 30 and I was like, this sucks. This is not feeding my soul. I have no passion. I feel depressed at the end of the day. I'm binge eating. I'm binge drinking. I'm gaining weight. I gained weight every month I was in that job. I barely lasted a year there. And I was doing a good job. I was really successful. They begged me to stay, and I was like, I can't do this. So I up and left everything in New York and I moved to Rhode Island. I got back into the country. I started riding horses again. I totally went broke and spent all my savings because I refused to I couldn't live in the matrix like that. I got a job offer here in Rhode Island for the biggest clinical manager job in the state. And when I got the job offer, I cried and I turned it down. And I was like, well, like, fuck, if I'm not going to do that, like, what am I going to do? And I didn't really know. And there was a long period of uncertainty and I did a lot of odd jobs. But I had this idea always to kind of start my own practice. So in 2015, I really followed that dream and I started my practice. And I had a little office in my town and I started building up my clientele and it was good. It was called Healing the Hungry Soul. And it was good until I got pregnant and then I was really sick and I I couldn't do it. So and I had, my lease was ending. So I wound up closing my office, taking a break from maternity leave. And then when my daughter was about 9 months old, I felt the call, and people started reaching out to me, actually, even though my website said I was on maternity leave. People started reaching out to me for nutrition work again. And I was like, okay, I'm getting the message, like I need to do this nutrition stuff again. And at that time, I thought I was pretty healthy. What I didn't realize is I was having pretty significant adrenal fatigue. I would have heart palpitations regularly. I had them pretty intensely when I was pregnant. And the doctors would be like, oh, there's nothing wrong. It just happens. It's just one of those things that happens with pregnancy, which now I know is not true. I had a lot of dizziness. Anytime I would stand up from a squat or from like the floor, I would get really dizzy. And sometimes like it would go a little black. Like I would have to hold on and close my eyes so I wouldn't pass out. One time I did pass out. I had a lot of adrenal fatigue symptoms. I would have a lot of trouble sleeping when the baby would finally be sleeping. And psoriasis was my biggest thing. That was my autoimmune labeled condition. And then there were lots of other little things that I have all written down, because I honestly forget all the little symptoms that I used to have that went away. But I was a healthy person, right? Like I was highly functional, I had a job, had a career. But what I was searching for was answers for my clients. Like I wanted to know more truth about health. I wanted to know more truth about how to really be well and how to help solve their problems. And that led me to studying herbalism, functional medicine. I have gotten so many certifications, I can't even tell you guys. I did food sensitivity testing, GI testing. There's more. And each time I would learn about those tests, I would run like 1 to 3 of them. And I'd be like, this is complete trash. A hormone testing, I'd be, this is not it. This is not telling me anything that I don't already have a strong inclination about. The consensus on how to treat the results is wildly across the board. Oh, nutritional testing as well, like vitamin and mineral testing. I did that too. It was the Wild West. It was a crapshoot. And I was like, this is not it. And functional medicine is very paleo. And I could not ever get behind paleo. Like that was never how I was going to eat. That did not resonate for my body. It didn't make sense to me. It didn't line up with what we know about long-term health benefits. And I was not eating plant-based at that time. I was still eating animal products. I was eating dairy, all of it. Paleo is, yeah, and feel free to pop quick questions in the chat if you want. Paleo is no grains. It's basically meat. It's very low sugar. It's meat, vegetables, fruit, no beans, no grains. It's supposedly like the ancestral eating or caveman diet. So it's a lot of animal products. It's very high in fat. Yeah, no grains, no beans. And that just didn't make sense to me with what I knew about long-term health outcomes. I had tried to become vegetarian a number of times, and I didn't know how to do it right. Even as a registered dietitian with 2 degrees, I did not know how to eat right as a vegetarian. I would end up eating all this pasta and cheese. And I was like, well, this isn't it. This isn't making me feel healthier or better. So I would kind of go back to small amounts of meat. I always kept dairy in until medical medium, eggs. And so I was in this search, and it was maybe 20% for my own health and 80% seeking answers for my clients. And in late 2017, I found the Life-Changing Foods book by Medical Medium. This exact book right here. This is the one. She's well loved. I don't know if you can see, she's pretty dingy and lots of scuffs and stuff. I used this for a lot of recipes for a lot of years. But this was the first book I got, and it was in my Amazon recommendations. Like, oh, you bought this book, you might like this one. And I like impulse bought it. And it got to me, and I was like, oh, why did I buy this? It's just another book that's going to sit on my shelf. But I opened it and I started reading it. And in the beginning, it talks about the unforgiving four, which is like heavy metals, radiation, viruses, something else, root causes, right? You guys, you know. And it was so depressing to me. Like I was like, oh, like we just have radiation raining down on us, and like, we're all full of heavy metals. And I put it away. Like it was too depressing for me. I needed to digest that for a little while. And I came back to it and I continued reading and I was like, there's something to this. And then medical medium people started to show up in my life. So I found a business coach because I shifted from an in-office business to an online business. And she was a medical medium practitioner, and she had been in medical mediums practitioner group. And I was like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Like the universe is sending me these signals. I went and got the first book. I read the first book and it was like every cell in my body was screaming, hell yes. This is what you've been looking for. This is the truth. These are the answers. And when that happened, I completely shifted my entire diet, got rid of all the meat, the eggs, the dairy, the gluten, corn, soy. I loved soy milk. I loved tofu, all of it gone, like basically overnight. And I just adopted this lifestyle, and very quickly I shifted my whole practice to medical medium protocols. And I didn't know if it was going to work. I didn't know, but I had to do it. And it felt a little risky and it felt a little crazy because I was like, oh God, what are my registered dietitian peers going to think that I'm touting this medical medium BS, right? Like, I was like, they're going to think I'm crazy. I'm going to lose my license as a dietitian. Someone's going to sue me, right? I had all these fears, but I couldn't stop it. I had to do it. And I shifted, and then very quickly was like, yeah, it's medical medium info too. Like I wanted to be very straightforward and clear about that. So that was, January 2018. So it's been 5.5 years now. And I healed all those symptoms I listed. My psoriasis went away in 15 months. Now, I didn't have a lot of it left because I had been working on it. I had been eating gluten-free. I had been doing a lot of things. But I was getting into essential oils and herbs and all these things, but nothing was totally clearing it until I did medical medium. The heart palpitations, the adrenal fatigue symptoms, the dizziness, I would get wicked blood sugar crashes where you get like a blood sugar crash, a rage, and like you get hot, you sweaty, your heart pounds, your hands tingle sometimes, like, and all you can do is sit and just try to get some food in your mouth. Those went away, lots of symptoms. So, and I also found that my athletic performance improved dramatically. So this is where I see the holistic results of this lifestyle and this eating plan as well. So I was a competitive horseback rider. I've taken some time off as I had my baby 9 months ago. But I was a competitive horseback rider. My stamina dramatically improved. Soreness I was also a Pilates instructor, so I did a lot of Pilates. Soreness between workouts, so much less. Strength maintained between workouts, so much better. Mental acuity and clarity, so much better. I do big jumpers, and so things happen real fast out there. And you've got to be like quick reacting to what your horse does. One jump comes after another, you're turning, you're jumping, you're turning, like it's really fast. It's an adrenaline sport. Let's be honest. But I mean, I was so much more competitive and so much better. And my skill set jumped dramatically. Like I went from one level, like up 3 levels in less than a year. So those results in terms of my like athletic performance, intuition completely opened up. I was also doing work in that area with other practitioners. I had some teachers and guides. But I had a visit from an Archangel Chamuel, a visit from Archangel Metatron, Not as profound as the Chamuel one, but both very profound experiences. I figured out that I could read people's bodies very accurately. I would get these intake forms from new clients and I wouldn't look at them. I would just look at their name and their date of birth, and I would print out their information. I would flip it over so I couldn't read any of it. I just did this to like just see. And I would scan their bodies and I would just write like with my eyes closed. So it was like total chicken scratch. And then I would have a conversation with them, like an intake call, and I would have these like very accurate results. So I realized how much skill I had in that. And then I started scanning people's bodies live on my calls after I practiced doing it like on my own. And I started to not just see physical information, but I started to read the chakras as well. And so a lot of information would come through on past lives, energy cords, old traumas, blockages, entities, all kinds of things that were, and then beautiful things too, like past family members would come in, angels and spirit guides, dragons. I mean, I've seen so many things in readings, it's really wild. And I'm going to go back to that question. And and that information I found was helping people a ton more than just telling them what was going on with them physically and what those root causes were physically. And this is the work of Carolyn Myss, who does one of her books is The Anatomy of Spirit, and she was a very, very, very is a very gifted medical intuitive. And she had doctors she worked with, and they would call her and be like, "We can't figure this case out." And like, she was wildly accurate, and she had no medical background, no physiology training. And she came to later on, I found through her, she came to this conclusion too, like telling people they had a cancer lesion, telling people they had, whatever their diagnosis was, right? She's like, that didn't help people get better. It didn't help people. So it was the other stuff that helped people. It was the energy work that helped people get better. So yeah, we need to know like what's going on physically, but this work through the chakras came through for me. And that's where I do a lot of work now. I do the nutrition, I do the supplements, I do the food, but I see there's another author who wrote a book called The Big Leap, and he talks about our 4 zones of the work we do. And we have our zone of incompetence, which is stuff that we're just terrible at. Like, don't ask me to try and change a tire on a car. Don't ask me to try and like fix the plumbing. Like, I can't. No. We have our zone of competence, things we can do, but we're not great at. Like, I can keep the books for my business, not great at it, don't like doing it, but I can get the job done. Our zone of excellence, nutrition, science, physiology, medicine. That's a place that I'm really good at. There's a lot of other people that are really good at that. Then we have our zone of genius, which is the shit that nobody else can do. And that's my energy work. That's my chakra work. And that came through cleansing my body with medical medium information. I do not think I would be in the intuitive place that I am in if I had not done all these years of medical medium protocols. So, so this extends to, right, my athletic physical performance. It extends to my intuition and my life purpose. It also extended into my relationships because it showed me wild misalignment in my marriage. And I wound up getting separated just over 3 years after I started medical medium protocols, because it showed me my path. It showed me my truth. And again, I was doing lots of other inner work here, right? But the food was the foundation for me. Getting my body in balance then allowed me to more clearly feel my emotions, have more mental clarity, let my intuition start guiding me, start taking bigger and bigger leaps of faith. I've always been a leap of faith girl, but bigger and bigger ones. And so it led me to this place where my partner at the time, my ex-husband, was not interested in going down any of those paths at all. And so it changed my relationships. And now I have a new relationship with a partner who is super on the same path with me. Like, very, very much on the same path with me and gets all of the things and isn't really into angels, but does have his own sense of spirituality that is matching. It's a matching picture, even though he has his own way and his own thing, right? And the way we want to eat, the way we want to live our lives, the things our goals, those are all in common. And so for me, again, cleaning up the body cleans up all these other areas in life. And so my relationship changes. I have another baby because of medical medium protocols. I swear to you. And I have a much healthier baby, and I had a much healthier pregnancy, a faster delivery, a much easier postpartum recovery because of it. So it just extends everywhere. It has guided my work, right? My income, everything. So I juggle this balance, right, of being a nutritionist and having this very in-depth knowledge of nutrition and physiology, but also recognizing that like that's only one piece of the puzzle, and there are many other pieces of the puzzle. And sometimes the food is guiding us to clean up that physical piece of the puzzle, but also other pieces of our life puzzle that we're constantly figuring out. We're learning to know ourselves more and more, the truth of who we are and what we're here for every single day. So another question, did I do the heavy metal detox right away? Oh, hell yeah, I did all of it right away. I jumped right in. Celery juice, I did the lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox, raw till noon, fat-free till 4. And I had a 1-year-old I was breastfeeding at the time. I felt like it was okay to do that because she was a little older. I had heavy detox from that. There were mornings that I would finish that heavy metal detox smoothie and then just be like on the couch with like liver spasms and like gutting it out. In hindsight, I would probably coach myself to go a little slower. You don't have to push it that hard, but I was all in. I wanted to do all of it. I wanted to get the healing. I wanted to know what my clients were going to go through. You know, I think I had to experience the intensity of the detox. I had to experience the intensity of some of the cleanses to understand what it is to go through that. You can't really understand it until you live it. It can get very intense. Did I gain any weight while I was detoxing? I did not. I only lost weight because I'm sure my calorie intake was lower. I think if you're gaining weight, I'm going to come back to this question. I'm going to come back because this is a tricky one, and I hear it all the time. And I've talked about this a lot other times, my own journeys with weight. One other thing that medical medium protocols did for me about 9 months in was it unlocked a repressed trauma for me from when I was like 6 years old. And that was the root cause for me of being overweight my entire childhood until I was about 15. And I started to gain an interest in nutrition and health and eating. It made me into an emotional eater at a very young age. And so I was always overweight for a very long time. So the gaining weight thing is something that like I would need, and I've done a workshop on this. I can't remember if it's on my website, but maybe I'll do another one. The gaining weight thing, you've got to ask yourself, like, is there emotional eating going on? Are there excess calories being consumed? What's the health of your lymphatic system? Are you doing enough lymphatic support? Have you done enough liver detox before you start doing aggressive pathogen lowering and a lot of antiviral, antibacterial supplements? Because so think about it, your lymphatic system is like the route that the garbage truck takes. It's the trash system for some fat soluble stuff in your body. So if you're putting all this trash out on the curb, but the garbage truck isn't coming, right? Or the garbage truck is only coming like once a month, or when the garbage truck comes, it's like already full. And so they can't take it. The trash is piling up and piling up and piling up. And so, then the trash is the toxins, right? So if the toxins are just building up, the body's like, shit, we got to do something with this. Like, warning, we can't leave all these toxins out in free circulation. So it's going to suck it all up into fat tissue. That is a very powerful storage adipose tissue is a very powerful storage for toxins. So you've got to look at the lymphatic health is huge, and the lymphatic health starts with cleaning up the liver first, and then the lymph will follow. And then you've also got to ask yourself energetically, are you holding on to anything? Are you not addressing anything? Are you avoiding or numbing something that needs to be looked at? Also, your adrenals. You got to look at your adrenal health, because if you're in adrenaline, cortisol is going to be up. Your body's not going to feel safe to let go of fat. Weight loss comes with safety. It comes in rest and digest. So if you're in a constant state of adrenaline, if you're in a constant state of stress, if you're detoxing too hard, that causes adrenaline spikes. You have to have healthy adrenals to do aggressive detox. So there's a lot of different things to look at there. Yeah, another person says, at 4 years of medical medium, I feel like I have a bigger belly than the first 3 months. Yeah, so this is going to take me to my next section of the topic. So I'm debating, which do I go to next? Who do I see getting the best results, or what do I see? Let's go to the errors. Let's go to the errors first. Okay, error number 1, giving away your power. And that means doing what someone else tells you to do, regardless of how it feels for you, because you feel like they know better, they have the information. You have to do it that way, or it's not going to work. You have to go A, B, C, D, E, or it's not going to work. I see this with some of the people who are coming out against medical medium right now, people who are in those recordings that are on the medical medium podcast. You know, some of what they're still talking about is that they absolutely developed disordered eating habits. Absolutely. Their eating got so restrictive. It was interfering with their relationships. It was interfering with their social life, interfering with their family. They're underweight. Like I followed these people the whole time. Like, they're underweight. They're not eating enough. Their body is, there's lack of sufficient nutrition there, whether it's micronutrients, calories, combination. They do not look healthy to me, however healthy they claim to be. So this is one thing that happens in, I think, these plant-based communities and the raw communities and the medical medium community, is there becomes this fear of eating other foods outside of your protocol. And it creates a lot of problems and a lot of stress, and it does not help people heal. And I see sometimes practitioners doing the go harder, push harder, give up grains, give up beans, give up all the fat. And 1, people can't do it, so they quit, or they feel like there's something wrong with them because they can't do that. 2, they're detoxing too hard. 3, they're becoming malnourished. They're becoming totally depleted. Not that you can't eat a low-fat, all-raw diet and be very healthy and vibrant, because you can, but you have to be listening to, how is my body responding to this? How does it feel? Am I getting enough calories? Am I getting enough micronutrients? And this is where I see sometimes health coaches who don't have the background in physiology, who don't have the background in vitamin and mineral metabolism, who don't have the background in the emotional, psychological aspects of food, which is huge. People get in trouble with it. They do. And so my approach is a little different. Like, I'm not a hardcore person. I can't go that hardcore because it triggers binging for me. So it's like you go to one extreme and then the other. It doesn't work for me. And I don't think it works for most people. And you're not meant to do this relying on willpower and like hard work and suffering and restriction. Like, that's not the name of healing, right? Like, where does that put you in terms of a hormonal stress balance? You're way up in stress. We got to be way up in joy, in rest, in peace, in calm, in divinity, in magic and vibrancy, like that's going to heal your body. If you're like, I have to do this, got to go harder, got to get up earlier, got to do more, it's going to be intense, like shit's not going to work. It's not how healing happens. You're better off doing less and doing it in a very calm, peaceful, relaxed way. So that can be one of the things that can be triggering that weight gain. Other thing with weight gain, you've got to look at your blood sugars too. You got to look at blood sugars and insulin resistance and food combining, all those things. Satiety, how full are you feeling? Are you overeating because you're over restricting? It's an in-depth issue. Okay, I think all the questions. Yeah. So giving away your power, doing things because someone else told you to do it. Food fear, disordered eating patterns happening because of this. This is not meant to take over your life and withdraw you from the human experience. You're not meant to go be on an island, right? If you've been very sick and you've been on Mattress Island, the last thing you need to do is withdraw yourself even further because you can't go out to eat or you can't go to your family's house for the holidays. That's not living. That's not thriving. And so, yes, if you have a major reaction when you eat grains, your body's telling you don't eat grains. But if you can go and be a little more lax and have a really good time and enjoy yourself and then get back on track, like it's not meant to be perfection. And so the other thing that happens is this fear can isolate, it can make you it can shift you into this mode of control, being overly controlling and thinking that if you do all these things exactly right, you're going to get the results. If I just get the supplement plan right, I'm going to get it. If I can just get myself to stay fat-free for 60 days, I'm going to get it. When it's coming from this place of control and fear and like I have to do this, this frustration, bitterness, resentment, it's not going to work. It has to come from tuning the external out. Nobody else has the answers for you. They're brilliant practitioners. They're brilliant guys, right? This is what I do for a living. But my job is to tune you back into yourself because the answers are inside of you. I don't know better than you. This is a tough business model, right? Because I graduate my clients. They don't need me anymore. They work with me for a couple years and then they're good. They don't need me anymore. Some of them work with me for 6 months or just for a couple sessions. The answers are within you. I don't know exactly how much fat you should be eating. I don't. There's no way for me to know. I don't live in your body. I don't know if you should be eating grains or not. I don't know if you should be eating all raw. I don't know if you should do a 3-6-9 cleanse, an advanced one, a basic one. I don't know. I have no way of knowing that. No one does. Anyone who is telling you that they know the exact steps that are going to get you to your goal is either wildly misinformed or outright bullshitting you. I think most of them are misinformed. And then when you can't do what someone else tells you to do, then you get gaslit. Well, you're not trying hard enough. You're not eating enough raw. Well, you're not sticking to it. Oh, you had no food. That stays in your system for 30 days. So do it once a month. You're screwed, right? They gaslight you. And that's not your fault. That's not the point of this. That's not how you heal, by restricting more and more and more and more and more. It's not how you heal. It's not how you get better. Life is not about restriction. Life is about expansion. Our souls are about expansion, right? Ascension is bigger. We're not supposed to be getting smaller and shrinking and restricting and holding and fearing and clutching. We have to let go and start to make some wild decisions and trust our own inner guidance. And so whether you call that your inner authority, your body wisdom, your intuition, your higher self speaking to you, messages from God, like whatever you call it, synchronicities, like you gotta start following that stuff. You have to. It's the only thing that's going to work. And if you feel really out of touch or out of tune with that, get some help learning how to reconnect to that. It's reconnecting to the body, because the subconscious mind lives in the body. It's communicating with you constantly at a many times faster rate than these puny little tiny brains up here. Our brains are like a computer processor from like the 1980s. Okay. We're in like, I don't know, they had DOS back then, right? This is nothing. Our bodies are like a spaceship computer from 10,000 years from now. Okay. Like our bodies are so wise. It's all in there. It's not here. It's not out there. You don't have to go find it. The things that are meant for you, medical medium, the nuances of medical medium, they're going to feel good. They're going to resonate for you. You're going to eat that avocado and be like, damn, that was good. I feel so nourished and satisfied after I ate that. Or you're going to go, ugh, God, that makes my liver hurt, makes me feel dull and tired. And then your body's telling you that avocado is not for you right now. But it might be for you in 3 months or 3 weeks or 3 days. It's going to change constantly. So we have to also have this ability to constantly pivot. You have to pivot all the time. Let me tell you how, as a mother of small children, they are changing every like 3 days. You're like, okay, got this. We got a nap routine. We got a thing. Nope, they change. Oh, there's teeth coming in. Oh, there's some new skill they're developing. Now you can't put them in the swaddle. Now they're walking and you got to baby proof everything. Like we should be evolving at that rate as well. So your food protocol is going to be constantly shifting and changing based on how it's making you feel, what other stressors you have going on in your life, what other responsibilities you have, who else you're feeding, what symptoms you're dealing with, what season it is. Your food protocols need to constantly be changing and evolving. So don't get stuck in this rigid, it has to be this way all the time. I did 2 months raw in February and March, and it felt great. It felt fucking great. I don't know why I'm holding back the efforts. Sorry if it offends you. Most of you are probably like, yes, Rachel, keep bring it on. I felt great. I was so into it. It felt amazing. Like I was like, I can't believe I'm 5 months postpartum in the middle of winter. I want to do a raw cleanse. What? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all, but it felt so good. Now it's the middle of summer. Cannot eat all raw. Not at all. The way that other things are happening in my life, my responsibilities, my body does not want to cleanse right now. Like I need some cooked food at breakfast. I cannot eat raw right now, like with the level of stress that my adrenals are managing, with like all the nighttime wake ups I'm still doing. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm listening to my body and I'm trusting it. And it's okay if that gets frustrating sometimes. Sometimes I'm like, damn, why can't I just bring the heavy metal detox ingredients back in right now? But I look at that bottle of spirulina and my body is like, meh. Not right now. And that's okay, right? I did 2-3 years of hardcore cleansing with heavy metal detox smoothie every day, sometimes twice a day. And right now it's not the thing for my body. And maybe it will be again. I hope that I'm saying I hope. Why? Why can't I just trust in the moment? My body's going to tell me what it needs when it needs it. So we have to come back to this trusting the body, trusting the body, trusting the body. And we've been programmed and conditioned not to listen to our inner authority. Go to school, you can only eat at this time. You can only go to the bathroom at this time. Ignore your body cues. Oh, you're tired? Too bad. Push through. Oh, you want to take a nap? You're lazy. Like the programming and conditioning around ignoring our intuition, our inner authority, our body cues is insane. It's insane. Drink caffeine, drink energy drinks, do high intensity workouts at the gym, push harder weights. Like, no, especially for women out there. Like we've got to come back in touch with our sacred femininity and that cyclical, seasonal, emotional ride that we live. We have to come back in touch with that and trust that. Trust the downtimes, because in the downtimes in the times that you're not cleansing, in the times that you feel like you're not moving forward, you are actually moving the most energy behind the scenes. Trust me. I sent an email out last week, I think, about being in the squeeze, and like every part of my life this was like, oh, like just squeezing me harder and harder to you're like, I'm just gonna burst. I can't do it. I don't know how I can keep going like this. And then all of a sudden, opportunities start to pop up, things start to change, things feel easier. Children are sleeping again. And now here I am coming out of that squeeze. And part of my big squeeze was financial stuff, because I can't work the way I used to. I normally have over 100, 120 people sign up for these workshops. This time I had 56 because I just didn't promote it that much, because I don't have time and I don't have the energy. My energy is being called in other places. And so I have to trust that and be okay with that. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm going to be less successful. It doesn't mean I'm going to make less money. And the thing, so I haven't been able to put this much energy into this work, into this business. But you better believe the thing that showed up for me is an opportunity to make the amount of money I need to make for the whole month in 5 days. I can make a whole month's worth of my bills in 5 days. This opportunity just popped up for me. And I would not have explored that opportunity if my business was chugging and churning along and doing all things. So there was this very uncomfortable couple months where I was like, what the hell is going to go on? How am I going to figure this out? And again, this relates to your health, because there may be those times where you're like, I can't cleanse. I can't do it. I'm detoxing too hard. I don't know. Like, I'm flaring. This is never going to get better, but you're just in the squeeze. You're just in the downtime. And it's where the things are shifting behind the scenes, right? This is the old tortoise and hare lesson. Go slower so you can go faster. So when you're going slow, trust it, just trust it. It's working for you. It's all aligning behind the scenes. Keep asking for guidance. Keep praying for what you need. Ask for miracles. Ask for every day. Ask for miracles. Miracles in your health, miracles with your money, miracles with your relationships, whatever, miracles with your intuition. Ask for miracles every day. They happen all the time. All the time. But you have to keep the faith. What else do we need to focus on? Discernment. Discernment. Be very, very careful who you are working with and what energy you are allowing into your field, because this can derail you so fast. And this is where we can't just, like low fat, whole food, plant-based, lots of raw foods, lots and lots and lots and lots of fruit. We are frugivores by design. There's this chatter about bio-individuality, which makes my head spin. Like, yeah, we have different eyes and different hair and different skin, but your digestive tract has a liver and small intestines and a large intestines and a pancreas. You're not that bio-individual, okay, right? There aren't some cows that are herbivores and some cows that are omnivores and some cows that are carnivores. No, they're all friggin' herbivores. We are frugivores, okay? We have evolved with these other foods that have allowed us to survive outside of tropical places full of fruit. Okay, so it's okay to consume some of those foods, but by design, we are frugivores. You can look this up in terms of physiology. Our teeth, our hands, our digestive tracts, our livers, we're frugivores. Fruit and tender leafy greens should be the foundation of everyone's diet. We have unique pathogen loads, unique toxin loads, unique backups in our digestive tract that we've got to clear out. So we're going to tolerate different things in different ways. And we have different energetic signatures as well. But by physiology, we are all frugivores. So there's not that much bio-individuality. That is a real scam to enable people to eat a lot of shit that is not good for them. Okay, I digress. So low fat, whole food, plant-based, lots and lots of fruit, lots and lots of leafy greens. That is the key. That is the foundation. So outside of that, right? So within that realm, then you have these options to add on grains, beans, small amounts of meat if you choose, whatever else, right? Those are just add-ons. Those are your fun foods. Those are your filler foods. And some people are going to tolerate those well, and some people are not, right? So bring that back to like, how does this make me feel? I've been eating this jovial brown rice pasta for years. Never makes me feel good. I feel better when I eat gluten than when I eat jovial brown rice pasta. But what do I keep doing? Eating the jovial brown rice pasta. I literally just used the last bag because I had this huge bulk order of it. I'm like, I'm not ordering this anymore. I'm finally going to listen to my body. I feel all bloated after I eat it. Like that is not what my body wants. Okay, I digress. So listen to your body with what it can tolerate outside of that realm. And use your discernment with who you are working with and who you are letting into your energy field. Like, I can't even tell you, there are people out there who just don't know any better. They just don't know. They're not doing anything. And most 99.99999% of people are not doing anything intentionally malicious, but they're not in clean energy. They're not in clear space. They're not channeling good information. They have entities. They have major energy cords and attachments. And I always strive to be as open and honest in authenticity and integrity as possible. I put a lot of shit in my emails that I'm like, oh my God, I hope my mother does not read this. I hope to God she does not read this, right? I don't want my family to know all this shit about me. It's like my diary, but I share it because I want you guys to know that all these practitioners are out there are not perfect. They're not 100% healed. They're not living perfect financial lives. They don't have perfectly harmonious relationships. They don't float through life like a butterfly on the breeze. Like, they go through thunderstorms just like the rest of us. No one escapes it. No one. Doesn't matter how much money you have, how beautiful you are, how old you are, how smart you are, how many degrees you have. None of that shit matters. We are all living in the human condition. All of us. Do not, if you go online and you get triggered by someone on Instagram showing you this perfect curated life, unfollow immediately, because it's not true. It's not true. They're not showing you all of it. So I try to be really authentic and integrity about that. I talked about money for a while in my business. I did in, I think, January of 2021 or 2020, January 2022, I did a post, and it was celebrating that I made $10,000 in the first 10 days of the month. Like, because I wanted to talk about empowering women to make money and being open about money and how money is accessible to you, right? There's a whole money thing, right? And this is a big life lesson for me because I have Chiron in Taurus as part of my astrology. This year, it took me 4 months, I think. 5 months? It took me 5 months to make $10,000 in my business this year in 2023. Okay? 10 days, 5 months. So like, I just want to be, and it's because my energy is being pulled elsewhere. It's not a flaw. It's not a mistake. It's not I made bad business choices or did something wrong. It's just a different time in my life. And so is that a little stressful and a little scary? Fuck yeah. You're like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my bills? Like, this is okay, we're in a different energetic time. And so that was part of my squeeze, right? That's a big squeeze. And, but now I have this opportunity that popped up for me. And so my point is to always be open and authentic about these things because, just because I had something, some part of my life in this like great flow and balance, then doesn't mean it always stays there. So it's just like your health. Sometimes you're gonna have a $10,000 month and you're gonna be like, I'm sorry, a $10,000 10 days. You're gonna be like, I am on these detox protocols, my supplements, I feel so good. I'm like, nothing can stop me. And then a year and a half later, you're gonna be like, fuck, I'm going so much slower. Everything feels harder right now. I'm having flares. I have old symptoms coming back. That's okay. You're supposed to. That's part of the process. When you're slowed down like that, it's asking you to reassess your life. And we cannot just focus on food and supplements, right? You get in this little tunnel of control. If I do this perfectly, then I'm going to get what I want. Meanwhile, the universe is like, hey, you have an opportunity over here. We have an opportunity over there. There's so many things that can be working for you. Like maybe you just need to relax for a little bit or give celery juice a break because it's too detoxing. Mary says, can you go through a basic idea of the steps you take when you work with someone? I understand is that you focus on what a person needs. However, it would be helpful to know what to expect. Okay, so when I get on a call with someone, I say, what's going on with you today? Because I am led by your experience and I hold space for you to go deeper into your own truth. So you can connect to that body wisdom. So you'll tell me, oh, I'm planning to do this cleanse or whatever. And I'll be like, how does it feel? And you're like, oh, just dreading it. Last time was so brutal. I couldn't make it through it. And I don't know, but my sister's pressuring me to do it with her. So I'll go, okay, I'm hearing you say that maybe this doesn't sound like a joyful experience for you. What do you think would be like something easier that maybe you could continue to do more long term? And then, because you guys know the food protocols, I can tweak them for you. I can give you some tips, but I can give you a lot of tips. I can, I can say, well, why don't you just focus on staying low fat? Right. So, we talk about the food. Sometimes people come to me and they just say, I'm just struggling and I don't even know what to do. I've been doing this for so long. These symptoms are coming back. And I just say, well, let's see what's in your energy field today. Do you want to do a reading and see what spirit has to tell you? And we can do some energy healing and try to move you through this. And they're like, yes, please. Like, I just need someone to support me and do it for me, with me. Yeah, I can still do body scans. Like I said, I don't do a lot of them because they give your brain answers that make you feel like, yeah. They also outsource your authority a little bit, right? Like I can do them. They're very accurate. But not 100%. I don't have all the information. No one does, not even Anthony, right? This is how people got in trouble with giving all their power to Anthony, thinking that he was closer to God than them. He's not closer to God than any of you. We are all of the same source. And so you can make that direct connection yourself. We're not going to necessarily get like, I'm not going to get all these books channeled through me because that's not my job. That's Anthony's job. But you can look at the books and you can discern, yeah, this feels good for me. This, something is not right about that cat's claw. Something is not right about that. I just can't get myself to order it. Trust that. Just trust it. So yes, I can still do body scans, but I think what is more valuable is getting on a consistent, low fat, whole food, plant-based diet, lots of fruit and lots of greens. Bring in some the heavy metal detox ingredients if that feels right for you, and then seeing where that takes you. So there were times I was doing a lot of energy healing with emotion code. That felt so good for about a year. I did a ton of it on myself, my children, my clients, got amazing results. Now, not so much. I don't really feel called to it. It doesn't mean emotion code is not good. It just means it's not for me right now. It's the same with your supplements. It's the same with particular things in your food protocol. There's been points in time in my healing where the heavy metal detox smoothie tasted fantastic. It was like candy to me. Other times it's been repulsive where I'm like choking it down. I'm like, I can barely, this is so gross. And I leave this much and it's all warm and I have to throw this out. So just trust that, right? Just trust that. So what else would happen in a session? Sometimes, a lot of times, what we're working through, because there's this big emotional detox that happens as well. And that's what I specialize in too, that you're not going to get from all the other practitioners. The thing it comes down to, the diet that I just described, low fat, whole food, plant-based, lots of raw fruit and greens, and the inner work. When you marry those two, that's where I see people who get the most success. And there are a lot of people who don't want to do that. They only want to do food protocols, and that's totally fine. If that's where you are right now, you do that. Maybe you don't ever need to do the inner work. Maybe that's not part of your journey. The other piece I come with is complete non-judgment. Again, I don't live in your body. I don't know what's best for you, but what I do know how to do is to powerfully hold space, to witness and to pick up on things. I'm highly, highly, highly empathic, and to channel messages for you that you need to hear and to help move energy with energy healing. That's when I talked about that visit from Archangel Chamuel. I was given this gift to channel Chamuel's energy healing. And it's life-changing when it is life-changing. You know, sometimes sessions, you move the needle a little bit, right? And sometimes you take a big leap. Sometimes it feels really slow. And then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, hang on. I feel like going for a run again. I haven't run in 10 years, 5 years, 2 years. And you go and you're like, what? Like I can run, or I can go for a walk, or I can swim, or whatever it is. I want to get on a horse again. You know, so a lot of times we're moving the needle a little bit, and then there's a big leap. And so sometimes, so it's just like the straw that breaks the camel's back, right? You keep putting, how we get into chronic illness. Little toxins here, little toxins there, little virus here, little stress there, a little birth, little this, little that. And then, you know, you get COVID, breaks the camel's back, right? It's not COVID. It's the combination of all the little things. It's not just the fluoride that you used in your toothpaste for 30 years. It's the combination of all the things. So when you're doing nutrition work with food, when you're doing energy healing work, sometimes it feels like the needle's not moving because it's only going like this. And then all of a sudden you do one thing and it goes like this, but it wasn't the one thing. It wasn't the one food. It wasn't the one energy healing session. It was the combination of all of it. Okay. Answer this now or later. Thoughts, ideas on how to navigate medical medium with hot thirst, determination, and human design. I use my inner guidance. So it's raw foods based, but curious if you've seen people do better or worse on certain aspects. I've been thinking room temperature juice, warming foods with raw like ginger. So in human design, if you're not familiar, it's I'm going to say the closest thing to it is like astrology. It's based on your planetary placements. I have a kid who has a warm determination, and like she always wants her food warm. Like she doesn't want that much smoothies. Like, do you want cold pasta? No, you got to heat that up. So like I give her more warm foods. And again, I think with like human design or with these outside like authorities, you have to feel into how they work for you. My determination is like quiet. So when I'm eating, it's not so much about what I'm eating, it's about the environment that I'm in. Like I need to be in quiet to digest properly. So yeah, I mean, and don't be afraid to do like lots of hot soups, warm up your lemon water. Yeah, use lots of warming spices, cinnamon, clove, ginger, and experiment with it. Like, does it make a difference for you? Does it feel better? Like if that feels really nourishing for you, then do that. It's the same with like Ayurveda or you know, you have your different alpha, pitta, vata, kapha, right? Your doshas, thank you. You have to kind of like experiment with that and say like, well, how do I do with these foods? Does it make a difference for me? Or am I doing this because someone said I had to and I don't really like it? It doesn't work for me. Same with Chinese medicine, right? People are wet, some are dry, some are hot, some are cold. I'm hot, I'm cold and dry. I'm a cold and dry person. So I love when it's hot and humid out. But I love eating cold foods. I don't know. So it just like I don't mind a cold smoothie in the winter. So you have to like just experiment with what works for you. Again, right? This comes back to like, take all that information, take the medical medium information, take everything you've studied, take advice from practitioners, take advice from me, run it through your own discernment and go like, oh yeah, that's a hell yes. Or you're like, no, that's really not for me. Like, I'm not going to be offended. I always tell people in sessions, try this. It's all an experiment. Your whole life is an experiment. This is a planet of trial and error, of experiential learning. I don't even want to call it trial and error. It's experiential learning. So like, you can't do it wrong because you're always learning, you're always expanding, you're always growing. You guys bring on the questions now, because I think I'm done with everything I have to say. I saw one blog about this lady who had symptoms from heavy metals. She did protocols with this health person, and they also did metal testing and saw that her levels went down gradually as well as her symptoms. Do you do metal testing? I like a body scan for my symptoms and help with the potential metals symptoms. I don't do any lab tests anymore. They're not very accurate. There's good lab work is good. We need lab work. I will never say don't ever get lab work done. But they're so limited because like the hair test, the metal test, you're plucking hair out of your head. So that's just the metals that's coming out of your hair, like what's coming out of the stool, what's coming out of your urine, what's in your liver, what's in the midline canal of your brain. You can't test that stuff. So I can say the few clients I have had do metal testing, their numbers have been very low after being on the heavy metal detox smoothie for a few years. So more information doesn't make us better. Every single fruit and vegetable is going to have some level of heavy metal detoxifying power to it. So if you're having significant like heavy metal toxicity symptoms, focus on the most powerful foods for detoxing heavy metals and see how that works. And it's going to take time. It could take 2, 3 years, 4 years. Also explore energy healing techniques for heavy metals. This is the information I got from Archangel Metatron. See how that, I have a meditation on my website for that. Search on my website, on my blog. I did that meditation in my membership recently. Do other things, explore other areas that like resonate for you. Reduce your exposure to heavy metals. You can get tests. Tests to me are like getting on the scale. Okay, so let's say you're trying to get healthy, you're carrying some extra weight, and you desire to be lighter. So you're doing great food, feels really good. You're on a good plan, you feel nourished, like you feel like, I feel lighter, it's great. You get on the scale, you lost 2 pounds. What does it do? Oh, this isn't working. I did all this for nothing. It'll totally defeat you. Okay. You get on the scale, you lost 10 pounds. You're like, ooh, now I have a little wiggle room. I think I could cheat a little bit, right? Like it totally derails you. This external stuff, you don't need more external stuff. You can certainly get a metal test. I'm not telling you not to, but I'm saying that we don't necessarily need more outside numbers. How do you feel? How do you feel inside? Your body will tell you if something is wrong. If it's not managing some toxin exposure, it will tell you. Like when I worked in the hospital, there's a very, very important rule. You don't test people's blood on the day of discharge because you don't want to find something that's going to keep them in the hospital. I can't tell you 1,000 million times I've heard doctors say that. No labs this morning. Don't check the labs because we're going to send them home. Because you don't, it's why you don't like send everyone for a PET scan, because everyone has cancer in them. Everyone has cancer in them. Not everyone, but we all have little tumors. We all have little cysts. Like you don't want to go looking for problems. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Right. So, yeah. So like, get your health screenings and stuff. Right. But like, if do you have significant heavy metal toxicity symptoms? Yes. Try the heavy metal detox smoothie. See how your symptoms progress. Be consistent with it long term. There's no risks to spirulina and wild blueberries and cilantro. They're only going to make all of your health better. If anybody else has questions, go bring them on. I just like, for me, I like I said, I got trained in all the testing and it didn't, for the way that I practice, it did not help anything. It didn't tell me anything I didn't already know on some level. And sometimes the tests come back perfect. Nothing's wrong, but you got all these symptoms. You just spent $400. Like they just don't, it doesn't, it's like, when you want to grow a plant. I was talking to a botanist the other day about this. She had her own health stuff she was healing. I was like, you give the body the right environment, you keep it hydrated, you give it the right nutrients, everything will heal. It will all heal. And you keep the body in a state of peace and calm. You work on your traumas. Yeah. And she was like, oh, it's like plants. Like if you give them the right environment, they're just going to grow. You give them soil, you give them water, you give them sun. We're the same exact way. We're not that complicated. We make it much more complicated because of all the programming and the outside noise. After 4 years of medical medium, I feel stuck. I've improved greatly, learned a lot. I feel like weight, flabby skin have increased, and I still have toenail fungus. And I'm starting to have, let's say, warm flushes at 47. I feel like it's just nature, but also adrenals. I don't want to do fat-free, but I'm really called to have flax and chia and hemp and just eat vibrantly. I feel like I just need to shift and add a different layer, even though I do work emotionally and energetically. Yeah, so sometimes we have a couple things. We have blind spots, right? I have my own blind spots. Like when I was in that major squeeze, I was like, show me, tell me. I am willing to give up anything and everything that is not in alignment for me. Like at any point in time, I will move out of this house. I will sell my car. I'm not going to give up my children. Like my relationship is luckily very wonderful balance right now. Like whatever, I'll do whatever, I will do whatever I'm meant to do. Like I completely and totally surrender, like, but show me the way, because I feel lost and I'm suffering and I need help. And so these symptoms that won't go away, they're asking you to pivot, right? Like there's something else out there for you. And sometimes I think we have to stop looking for them to go away, and we just have to live with them joyfully until we come to the next destination. And we can't get to the next destination by trying to run faster. There has to be patience. There has to be this continual return and look inward. Like the chia and the hemp seeds feel so good, like so nourishing. Like, yeah, keep doing that. The, look in, like I use references like this from Louise Hay. Like what are energetic root causes of illness, of symptoms? So this is something I bring into sessions, right? And then we talk about it. Like I had a woman who had a UTI recently, and she's was divorced 2 years ago, but she's still really working through, because it was it was 35 years or something. And we looked up the thing, and it was like anger at a partner. And she was like, oh, like, still, there's more? I'm like, there might be more. We may have to keep going with this one, and you can't work through that stuff any faster than you can work through it. And the idea that like there's not enough time or running out of time or there's just illusions of the human condition. Like we are infinite souls. And this is just one chapter in our book. So if this chapter isn't exactly like landing the way we want it to, there's more chapters coming. And this chapter also can change at any moment. You can flip a page and it's completely different. So I think we explore working with different practitioners, working with different healing techniques, working with different mindset stuff. I mean, and asking for miracles, keep asking for guidance. I use oracle cards a lot because they help me like see something from a different perspective. When I pull them for a client, I'm like, oh, this makes perfect sense. Yeah, exactly right. And then I pull it for myself. I'm like, I don't get it. No, I don't understand this. So we're blind to a lot of our own stuff, and we're meant to be. We're figuring it out. And we have ingrained energetic patterns that are difficult and neural patterns that are right. We get in these little tunnels. And so then you can't see like what's right over there or what's right behind you or what's, like right around the corner. Like we can't see. So when we're in the uncomfortable moments, when like things aren't changing, things aren't shifting, that's when we just surrender, hands up, and be like, okay, show me. I'm obviously not doing this right. My plan sucks. You know better than me. Like surrender, and ask for guidance. And again, so like practitioners are great, but the more and more you do this, the more and more you just do it on your own. Like I worked with many practitioners for many, many years, and it got to a point where they weren't really helping me anymore. And I was like, and I went back to old practitioners, not really helping, went to new ones, not helping, went to other new ones. Oh, you were bad. This is bad. I have to get out of here. This is not good. You just totally messed up my energy field. And so it's like, okay, I have to come back. I have to come back to me. It's me. It's only me now. I'm the only one that I am going on this entire life experience with. I'm the only one that will be here for every second of it. And so I have to come back to me, guiding myself. And so that's what I help people do, is figure out how to come back to yourself and become your own guide, become your own channel, become your own intuitive connection, become your own energy healer, become your own wise woman, your own witch, your own wild woman, whatever. That's where you will really get the results, is when you return to that inner wisdom, inner authority, body wisdom. But sometimes there's some old shit in there that we have to clear out. There's traumas, there's past life traumas, there's ingrained patterns of behaviors and thoughts. So sometimes we need someone with a different perspective to show us how to get out of our little tunnel, our narrow tunnels where we can't see. And again, it's not about a practitioner telling you, well, you have to do this exact protocol. And I give people protocols and they work, right? Like the one with the UTI, she cleared it up without antibiotics. She was like, I'm not taking antibiotics. Last time I took them, like it was a disaster. And she cleared it up, but it wasn't entirely because of the protocol. It was because of the protocol I gave her, but it was because of her own inner volition. Like, I will heal this naturally. That's what healed it. That's what healed it. But we need people to support us and say, yeah, you can. Yeah, you can heal fibromyalgia. Yeah, you can heal Lyme. Yeah, you can heal that toenail fungus, like that's plaguing you. Like, we need people to see us, hear us, validate us, encourage us, and help us to move along. But we have to have that inner conviction on our own. So I'm going to recap things not to do. Don't give away your power to someone else or to some other protocol. Do not become so afraid of eating food that it starts to affect your relationships and your life, and it starts to isolate you. Do not try to focus on more control and more restriction to get well. Do focus on nourishing yourself, loving yourself, filling yourself up, listening to that inner wisdom, even when it tells you to do crazy, crazy shit, like get divorced or invest $30,000 you don't have into a mastermind. These are things that I've done. Like have another baby with someone you've known for 10 months. Like, I don't know, start a healing coaching business, right? Like all these crazy bananas things. Trust that, really trust that inner wisdom and that intuition. It's absolutely guiding you. When you're trying to heal, look at all areas of your life. Look at your relationships. Look at your home. Look at your work environment. Look at your stress. Look at how much time are you spending in nature. Look at your grounding. Look at your nervous system. Look at your exercise and your activity. Look at all of it. It's not just food and supplements. It's a powerful piece of the puzzle, but it's not all of it. Buy a camper van. Yes. I was just thinking about buying a camper van. I was literally looking online today. It's going on my vision board. It's just validated by the universe. Okay. Low fat, whole food, plant-based, lots of fruit, lots of leafy greens. That is the foundation of our diet. And then you can add in whatever else feels right for you. Be very discerning about who you work with, about what protocols you're using. Make sure you trust that person's energy 110%, because you can really get thrown off by outside energy that is not in alignment for you. And pivot. Don't be afraid to pivot. Don't be afraid to change things. Don't be afraid to take a break. Don't be afraid to slow down. Trust that you're always being guided in the right direction when you follow that inner wisdom and that inner authority. Oh, and one last thing. I didn't talk about resistance versus misalignment. So resistance is going to feel like, oh, I don't really want to do this, but I know this is important. And when I get into it, it feels really good. And then afterwards, I feel amazing. Okay, that was just a little resistance for me coming into this. Misalignment. I have to do this. This is important. If I don't do this, something's going to go horribly wrong. There's no way I can back out of this. Like if I was in that space, I would be like, guys, I need to postpone this. I'm really sorry. Even if it was like 30 minutes before, I'd be like, I can't, today's not the day. Misalignment is going to make you feel worse afterwards. Resistance, you're going to feel better afterwards. Okay. So sometimes you're like, oh, I don't really want to go to exercise class, but then you go and you're like, oh, that was the right decision. Sometimes you're like, I really don't want to go to exercise class. I'm so tired, but if I don't go, I'm never going to lose weight. It's the only way I can do it. I have to do it this way. My trainer is going to be mad at me. And then you go, and then afterwards you feel like shit and you eat pizza on the way home. That's misalignment. Okay. So discerning resistance versus misalignment. All right. Thank you guys for joining me. I'm going to end the recording here, but where is it?